Aquarius, December energies are upon us. And what I keep getting for you from your guides is the future is so bright, you might want to put your shades on. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for Aquarius for December, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And wow, that was such a cool message to get. Nobody else of all of the readings that I've done so far got a message that fun. So I'm really looking forward now to seeing what's coming through for you guys this month. All right, we are pulling an overarching theme from the Sweet Ass Affirmations 2 from Rage Create. And then the deck that was calling to me for you guys is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum by James Voorhees. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so if the future is so bright that you better put your shades on, I can't wait to see what is coming up for you guys in December. And of course, you don't need to be a psychic to know that we are all, right now in that reflection mode, coming up to the end of the year. What does that all mean for us? And, kind of prepare, reflecting on what's in the past and preparing for what is to come. And really just feeling here. Sorry, now I've got to adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. You don't need to be psychic to know that that's kind of where people are at. But I feel like for you guys, there's a lot that you have to be grateful for, you have to be excited about, you have to look forward to in this coming month. So let's see what the overarching energy is. I consciously connect with my meals one bite at a time. So what this is saying to me is you are going to be having a lot of opportunity. And the thing that's popping into my head here is like breakfast is some say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, because when you are setting your body up for success, it's going to run optimally and efficiently. I'm also feeling here that there are some, I want to say, physical concerns, making sure that your physical body is aligned with your actual energetic and emotional goals. We are whole beings, but we don't always operate from that whole perspective. So many things in life that happen to us or happen around us can cause us to dissociate, can cause us to feel disconnected. And you can feel completely and totally disconnected. You can feel disconnected in one area of your life, disconnected with certain individuals in your life. So connection and disconnection is part of the world of duality that we live in. So I consciously connect with my meals one bite at a time. I'm feeling breakfast, starting your day off right, is going to make a big difference. Vitamin C, obviously we're having a lot of, orange energy. So I feel vitamin C and, orange chakra energy is really important as well here, that's being reflected. That is our sexuality, sensuality, creative expression and flow, and the ocean of our emotion. And then we also have the avocado here, the green. That is one half of the heart chakra, healing, healer, healed. So I feel like you want to be paying attention to your heart and your sacral chakras. You want to be paying attention to the physicality of what you're putting into your body, so that you're understanding, okay, we all need to get there. We all are working in concert to get to the same goal. And when I say we, I mean head, heart, soul, body, mind, spirit, making sure that all aspects of your life are aligned to the goal or goals that you are working towards. I want to say your success is inevitable. This is saying, this makes the ride smoother and easier, or this makes the maintenance of the arrival of that a lot smoother. So, the choice is up to you, but I feel like it's there for you to make. It's going to be making its presence known. Okay, so now we are pulling cards. Where are you at presently in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting? rising, or dissolving. Ooh, Page of Wands. Interesting. And here's the green. So heart-related stuff. Feeling very much that right now, Aquarius, you are really evaluating a new journey. You're reconnecting or connecting to a brand new passion. Things are stirring. I want to say they're stirring quietly, or they're stirring slowly. It's like it's bubbling to the surface. So you have a little bit of time to kind of get used to that feeling, to ask what it wants to do, why it's showing up for you. You have some time to inquire, to ask a few questions, to understand what's coming up and coming through. But I definitely feel here that when we're talking about the present moment right now in your journey, you're ready to transform some things. You're ready to do some things differently. And as I was saying before, it's December. So of course we are in that mode of, taking a look at where we've been for the past year and setting ourselves up for what's coming up in the next year ahead. And I definitely feel that you're like, all right, angels, guides, dream team, like I am ready. Let's just do this. Don't jump the gun. Make sure that you're supporting yourself for the journey ahead. One more month to dot the I's and cross the T's is not necessarily a bad thing. And so I feel like that's why that Page of Wands is coming through. You are ready to rise. You are ready to move forward and move ahead. In fact, I feel like a lot of what's already needed to be dissolved is dissolving, right? Like you're in the process of it and you're moving through it as it's dissolving and moving on to the next level. This just feels like it needs a little extra time to support itself and to support you in terms of what's coming next. It's going to be a very heart-based month for you. So don't run away from your heart space. Act as if all of your decisions come from your heart space. Make decisions from the heart, not from the head, not from the soul at this time. Make the decisions from the heart. The catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? Is this resistance or rocket fuel? Interesting. So we have the Star card, and I love this. The Star card is your card, right? It's Aquarius energy, beating to the tune of your own drum. I feel like you're the catalyst in this instance. She's laying on the bank of the river. There's a boat here. She's got a cup in her hand. It's a green cup. I just want to point that out again. I feel like green is your color. She's got a green cup, the cup of the heart. She's trying to fill her love cup. She's filling her love cup until it's full and overflowing. She's doing it by the night, not during the day, by the moonlight perhaps, although we're not actually seeing a moonlight. So I'm just going to say by night. And there are stars everywhere. But in this depiction, there isn't just one star. I feel like she is the star. And we can see that with this block of light that is coming from her abdomen area, her chest area. And I feel like you are the star. So you're the catalyst. I want to say you are fueling your transformation right now by paying attention to what you're putting into your body, involving your body in your choices, involving your body in the pathway forward. For a lot of you, I feel, again, you already have chosen the vision. You already know where you're headed. This is now just committing to it and saying, okay, yeah, this is definitely where I want to be. And all action steps that I'm taking now are designed to fill my love cup until my cup is full and overflowing. And it's not just one star. I am the star that attracts the energy from all of the other stars, which then ignites me, which then fuels me as I move forward. You are the one you've been waiting for. And I feel like this love cup, don't think about it as, okay, I've got it half full and now I can go. Again, it's your goal is to bring the awareness to the wholeness of all of you, bringing all parts of you into alignment so that everything is working according to plan. Everything is working in concert with one another. This is not a time to go it alone. This is the time now where your body needs to be aligned with your heart, needs to be aligned with your soul space energy. Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Yeah, you're tired of overthinking things. You're tired of the anxiety. You're tired of the nightmare. You're tired. You're just tired. Plain, plain message. Simple, end of story, period. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to spit out, period. End of story. This, and it's a 9, which also is endings, resolutions, and conclusions. When we talk about this deep root, I feel like the reason why you are so ready to move on is because you've been doing a lot of work, a lot of examination of the part that you've played, of decisions that you've made, whether they were decisions based in logic or rationality, whether they were based in intuition, whether they were based on if feeling and emotion, reaction versus response. And it's not a time to continue to beat yourself up. It's also not a time to cut everything off at the heels and move forward either. Wherever you go, there you are. And this is something that you definitely need to be dealing with. You need to be adjusting, because you can move forward into this vision and you'll get there, but so will all of these thoughts. So will all of this wounding. And I do feel that that's what we're talking about here, is the wounding. And December is bringing up a lot of opportunity for you to evaluate this wounding from an observer's perspective, in order to say, okay, maybe I didn't know any better then when I was making those choices, but I know better now. And when I know better, I can do better. And so I don't have to beat myself up for what was, but I can use what was to inform how I'm going to move forward into what I'm creating. And especially at this time, December is really a month that's allowing you to kind of wrap up a lot of things, to clear away the cobwebs, to bring clarity to or closure in this case to certain situations, so that you can say, that was me then, this is me now, I'm addressing it so that I don't have to repeat it. And I feel like that's the biggest issue here. We're talking about wounds, but we are also talking about wounds that are informing a pattern of choice that keeps coming up for you. And what I'm seeing is that pattern of choice, you keep going around the merry-go-round. And maybe some of it is because you don't recognize that it's the same pattern. But December is going to bring about much opportunity for you to understand that, oh, yeah, this is the same pattern. It's wrapped up in a different colored bow. It's wrapped up in a different body, but it's the same thing. And this is telling me here, especially with the orange and the orange, the issues are connected to the sacral chakra, connected to your feelings and emotions that maybe are a bit overwhelming to feel, connected maybe to some choices in regards to your sexual intimacy. Maybe for some of you, this is about partners that you are choosing, or, continuing to, connect with, or a certain issue in the sexual or the sensual area of your life where, you're not being authentic with yourself, or giving yourself permission to say, yes, I want this, or no, I don't want that. There's a lot that's going on here. This affects the creative flow. And now is a time for you to really, I want to say, make plans for the creative energy that is coming through you, because it's coming through you regardless. You're a conduit for it, but you also can take advantage of what is coming through you. But I want to say, you've got to be willing to say yes to it. You've got to be willing to kind of take it on when it shows up. Otherwise, it's going out the door and someone else is going to swoop it up. So definitely addressing these wounds and addressing the patterns associated with these wounds. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away now? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Saying yes when you really mean no. Saying yes to an old way of being. Saying yes to expectation, which is interesting. A lot of times, Aquarius, you don't, you guys like to beat to the tune of your own drum, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily easy for you to disappoint someone by saying no or holding firm boundaries. You have, I would say, an easier time than most other signs in the zodiac, in terms of being able to hold those boundaries. But it still doesn't mean that you don't have some feelings around it. And so I'm feeling here that what's dying away is, kind of that uncomfortability, or the recognition that I've been saying yes to you because I don't want to disappoint you, or I don't want to be that person for you that everybody else seems to be. But I'm also not being authentically myself by doing this. This isn't a matter of like selfish and, well, I have the time to do it, so I will. I feel like this is actually like releasing unhealthy, dysfunctional, codependent yesing, people pleasing. And you're stepping instead now into feeling into, is it something that I really want to do? If it is, and it brings me a lot of joy and happiness, then of course I'm going to say yes. But if it really doesn't bring me a lot of joy and happiness, then maybe I'm going to choose another path. I'm going to go a different way. I feel like the sun is coming through because this is what you're ultimately needing to build for yourself moving forward. This isn't going to be built for you. It's available to you and it's all around you, but you've got to choose it. And I feel like choosing it sometimes means we have to remove ourselves from the noise of other people's frequency and energy in order to understand what actually is bringing us joy, what actually is making us feel happy, connecting us to our happiness and our joy in that regard. Highest potential in transformation. So this is your highest phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh, I love it. 10 of Pentacles. So you, Aquarius, are working towards your legacy. And I feel like 2026 is really going to be bringing a lot of opportunity for you to shine your light and to build your name or build your reputation or expand the knowledge of your name and what you do out into the world. In order to do that, though, you've got to be willing to be seen and heard. You've got to be willing to say yes to the attention. And sometimes that attention is going to come in what you're no longer doing or what you're no longer saying yes to. Sometimes the attention and the awareness of others comes in the form of what no longer is rather than what actually is. You're going to know what actually is, but you haven't kind of got street cred with it yet. You haven't developed it enough for people to see it or trust it or to know that that's going to be something that they can count on. They're just looking at well, you used to do this and now you're not. So what's next? What are you filling that with? And I feel like it's really important for you to stand in the knowing that the legacy that you are building is one that is going to provide a lot of abundance, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, and where you're going to be able to give back and pay forward. And ultimately, Aquarius, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. This give back and pay forward energy seems to really be prevalent right now as I'm tapping into that energy. Feeling very much that is your ultimate goal. You're there to, I want to say, to do the work for yourself, to connect with yourself. But I'm also seeing that you're in a space and a place where you're saying, again, I know better. I didn't know better before, but I know better now, so I'm going to do better. And that's part of what this legacy is. Because I know better now, I'm going to do better, and I'm going to do better by paying it forward, or by paying it back and paying it forward, right? You are choosing this, and not everybody's going to believe you. Not everybody is going to necessarily support the path. You don't need anyone else's support to do what needs to be done. Okay, just keep doing it. But understand that, the more you do it, the more you stick with it, the more people start to see, oh, this isn't a flight of fancy. This isn't a fad or a phase. This is actually something new that, that you are stepping into. And it's with time that trust gets built up. Okay, now we are at our next step. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting. So 7 of Wands. Okay, so I always read the 7 of Wands a bit differently than sort of other tarot readers. I read intuitively, and what I get here is, yes, it can be a card of defense. And, there is, she's using the wands to keep some of these people at bay so that she can protect herself while she's at the top of the mountain. But what I'm also feeling here is this is someone who is wanting to learn from this person on the mountain, wants to light their wand from the fire and the light of this wand. I talk about, like think of any public speaker. I usually use Brene Brown as my example. Don't ask me why. She just was the person that popped into my head when this was coming up. But think of any like major thought leader who people follow all the time. And they pay lots of money to go and sit and listen to this person's wisdom. Well, what they're doing is they're recharging their battery and lighting their fire with the wisdom of from this person. And then the expectation or the hope is that they go out into the world and they apply it to their lives and they make their lives better, right? I feel very much that this is what's transpiring. As I was saying to you, you're putting yourself in a different position where you're maybe changing course. You're not doing what is expected, but you're laying the groundwork and setting yourself up to pay things forward, to pay back and pay forward, to lean into a different legacy, who you want to be and what you want to leave behind. And as a result of that, I feel like that's what's going to come up is there's, it's a new sheriff in town. Suddenly you're going to draw to yourself or attract to yourself individuals who are a little more like-minded in that way, who vibe at your frequency, who are going to want the wisdom that you have to offer and may even provide reciprocity in place. Like he bought the ticket to be able to walk up, to greet you. And you're like, okay, well, you crossed the threshold. And so, yeah, now we can have a conversation. You won the prize, right? So I really feel in essence, Aquarius, like you're the prize to be won, but you're setting it up in that way. And this is what's going to come up is you are going to be acknowledged for this new direction and this new tack. You are going to develop your name and expand your reputation to be able to help others in need to go, sort of beyond what you have gone, where you have gone in the past. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's important that you understand that that's where you're headed. And I have to point out another green. This is like a teal green, which says to me, high heart chakra, but it is still the heart chakra. And so we are seeing a theme here for you with this green energy. It's when you are coming from the heart, excuse me, when you are coming from the heart, that is when all of the success begins, excuse me. And that's when you know that you've hit the jackpot, like you're onto something, because others are starting to seek you out. Others are starting to follow you. You in this process, what role are you playing in this transformation? How are you navigating it? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? So there's a little bit of resistance. And I feel like, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning. It's okay to not have to rush through into the next chapter. Take your time, take the time to eat the breakfast, take the time to connect with the body, to make sure that all aspects of you are in alignment with where you're going and what you're trying to do. The King of Pentacles often, though, can be seen as procrastination, dragging your heels, dragging your feet, often it's not depicted in this way in this card, but often it's depicted as, the knight who's off the horse and he's walking the horse because he's just taking his time. In this case, she's on a deer, a stag, and her feet aren't in the stirrups, so they're not going anywhere. They're just pausing, and she's taking time to reflect on this pentacle. And I would say this is like the planting of the seed. Well, now she's got to take this seed somewhere in order to be planted. She's been given a quest. She's just clearly not in a hurry to get there. So I would say just avoid procrastination. Recognize that you're seeking balance. You don't have to rush to the finish line, but you also want to have kind of a steady pace. Take the time to set yourself up for success. Be very clear about what you are aligning to, and then move forward. Yellow is all about the solar plexus chakra. That's our identity, mastery, personal power, and co-creation. And co-creation, the key word in that is the co. yes, you have source energy, you co-create with the universe, but you still have to take steps as well towards it. You put in motion, you by asking what you want. Then you have to be ready to say, okay, when the opportunity arises to take the next step towards that, you have to be willing to say, yes, I'm ready, and you hop on the stag and go. This I feel here is kind of indicating that you might lollygag a little bit. And I would say to you, no time for lollygagging here. You don't have to rush through, but don't lollygag either. Find the balance, because otherwise you're going to lose the opportunity, and then you're going to be kicking yourself because you will have taken all the time and the steps to get there, and then when you get there, it's not available to you. And I just keep hearing like it's because um, you didn't make it the priority. So get clear. I feel like this is about getting clear on your priorities. A support system. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it positive or negative? So this is your circles of support. Interesting. Page of Cups. So I feel like this month, it's going to be really important for you to think outside the box in terms of what is going to actually fill your love cup. So we talked about that with the star. Clearly, you're starting your month off. Like the whole month is about finding ways to fill your love cup, and not to half full it. It needs to be full and overflowing in order for you to kind of start this journey and to have enough gas, right? Like it's kind of like you got to fill the gas tank before you start the journey. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far, and you're going to have to stop more often, which is going to take you longer to get where you need to go because you're always having to pump the damn gas, right? Page of Cups is really about creativity. And so I'm definitely feeling that it's about you getting creative about where you're going to get your support. Not to say that your circles of support right now aren't supportive or aren't going to do the job, but I am feeling really clearly that there is a disconnect in what they're able to do for you. And again, I feel like it's a big part of the reason why is because you're shifting kind of from their perspective, you're shifting midstream. You're closing the door on something and you're going in an entirely new direction, and it might catch people off guard. So they're not quite sure how to support you. You know, they're going to say, well, okay, is it really a good idea for you to, I'll just use this as an analogy, to quit your job before you've got another job, or to quit your job as a doctor, for example, and to go into songwriting. Is that really the direction that you want to take? Is that a wise choice? You're always going to run into people who care about you. They're concerned, but people come from their own filters, they come from their own experience, right? So I feel like you want to get creative about how you're going to support yourself, because not to say that others aren't going to support you, but I feel like others aren't going to be sure how to support you. And this is about you learning how to teach others how they can support you. This is all new, so you don't really know what that path looks like yet. You'll figure it out soon enough. But I feel like that's what December is about, is you're making this shift. You're moving in this direction. And it's new to you as well. And while you have, I want to say, for the most part, you have pretty good confidence about the direction that you're taking and where it's going to lead you, which I think is wonderful. You still are in the throes of figuring out what it all means and what it all looks like as well. And so it's going to be harder for you to articulate how others can support you, other than to just simply say, trust me, right? Trust me. And some of them may trust you. That might be enough. And some of them might not. I'm going to say, don't worry too much about the judgment. Just really focus on your connection to self and source, because that's what this is all about, is the alignment for you. It's an alignment to this new vision. And that new vision is you. Maybe this is even you just getting to know yourself and not being afraid to shine your light out. Others might be a little surprised by it, but so be it. This is the person that you're becoming. This is the walking legacy, the living legacy that you are creating. Hopes and fears. What are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Oh, you are seeking connection. You're seeking to share in your joy, share in your celebrations. I want to say to share in your resources as well. And while I see that absolutely being something that is going to come to pass down the road, you are at the beginning stages of it. So I want to say the resources that you're able to share right now might not be physical, tangible resources. They may be resources of your time. It may be resources of your wisdom, your knowledge, until you've kind of built that empire, whatever that happens to look like. It's recognizing what it is that you really have to offer. And you want this connection. You want the praise and the accolades of this. Even if it's on a grand scale, yes, you want that. If it's not on a grand scale, you still want that from the people that matter the most to you. Don't get caught up in the people pleasing or the race to try and seek external approval. Remember, this is all about your reconnection or a full connection to self and source. And that is where the celebration needs to come for now. And also pay attention to those who are going to support what it is that you're doing by saying, hey, have no idea how this is all going to turn out for you, but I support you. Let's go out and celebrate. Let's go have some fun. Let's do a burning ceremony, to what's the word I'm looking for? To bring it in to being. There's a phrase and I just can't think of it right now. I'm in la la land. This is the hopes and fears for you about changing, that this, you may not have this, but I want to say, hang on to this, make this part of the new vision. And it will be so. Again, it may take a little bit of time for people to kind of understand what you're doing. But again, in the grand scheme of things, they don't really have to understand it in order for you to do it and to be successful at it and to get out of it what it is that you need to get out of it. So I want to say, just give yourself some permission to explore that. Okay, and here we are at the outcome of this transformation. If you stay on course in December, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? I love it. Queen of Pentacles. So having all of the resources met, we've got a lot of the reds here, and the red is root chakra energy. I feel safe. I feel secure. I have all of my resources met. I not only survive, I thrive. And I feel very much that the Queen of Pentacles coming through in your outcome for this month says to me very much that if you follow the guidance here, you follow I want to say the steps, one bite at a time, one step at a time, you're nourishing yourself, you will be nourished. You will have the things that you need, the resources that you need to move forward. The Queen of Pentacles is wonderful because the way I see her is she's like, okay, you need some help or you need something, come to me. I absolutely have it. And you can have what you need, but I'm also going to take it a step further and I'm going to show you how you can do this for yourself so that you don't always have to rely on me for these things, that you can learn to do this yourself. I always say this is teach a person, give a man a fish or give a person a fish, they eat for a day. Teach a person to fish, they eat for a lifetime. That's what this card is about. And I feel like that's the legacy that you're really trying to create. You need to learn certain things so that you can pass that on to other people that you are in support of and supporting. And the Queen of Pentacles is your validation that what you are feeling, what you are intuiting as being this next step, this next course of action, what you're closing out so that you can open up into this new direction is the right choice. It's the right call. It's valid. And it is connected to your identity, your mastery, and your co-creation. You're co-creating and you're co-creating successfully because you're getting the things that you need. Queens are all about structure, delegation, and organization. And I feel like that's what this is all about, is organizing your physical life. We talk about the physicality, health and wealth is often that pentacle energy. We're talking about the physical body. All of that is aligning for you, provided that you are leaning into the new path. Close out what needs to be closed out, lean into the heart space, follow the heart space, and all will be well. OMG. Okay, Aquarius. So that is your transformational tarot for December. so excited about this one for you. It's your year in preview season for 2026. If you want to get a sneak peek of what is coming down the pike for you in 2026, click the link below, book a session with me. It's a limited time series that I do between December 1st and January 31st. We have an hour together. It's a personal one-on-one reading. I pull a card for each month of the year, and I tell you all the things that I get. You can record it. People say it's the gift that keeps on giving. They use it throughout the year to kind of guide them through, their interesting challenges and those wonderful opportunities that are coming up. And if you want to go a little deeper, I also have your year in transformation, which shows you how you're going to transform. It's also predictive. You get a channeling in there, you get meditation, you get card pulls, you get you name it, you get it. It's a whole thing. So would love to connect with you guys in that way. Otherwise, it's been a wild ride this year, and I'm really looking forward to bringing in 2026 with you guys. So until we see each other in January of 2026, I'm going to say we'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.